Welcome to My Design Centre Basics with Echidna. My name is Jackie. In this video I will show you how to do simple appliques. The design we will be creating is this one here, which is simple and fun to create. My Design Centre is available on many Brother models. Today I will be using the Stellaire, but to make sure that we're all on the same page, we do need to change some settings once we get in there. So we're going to go into My Design Centre. We do need to go into our machine settings, and we need to scroll to our page that gives us our measurements. And we are actually going to change it to inches today. And let's go back to our embroidery frame display. We don't want anything displayed, so to do that we need to set it to the largest frame, which is our 9.5 by 14 on the Stellaire. We also want to turn off our grid so that we have nothing displayed. And then we're good to go, ready for our next step. The icon style or position on your machine may be slightly different to mine, but the names will be the same. Taking notes is highly recommended as we move through each symbol. And remember, you can stop, rewind and re-watch the video as many times as you like. Let's go get creative. Okay, we're on our home screen. We're going to My Design Centre and we're on our pattern drawing screen. So just going to explain a little bit about the applique process. So we need to bring in multiple shapes that are the same, but the stitch type will be slightly different for some of them. So the first shape we bring in is our placement stitch. So that tells us where to place the fabric for the applique. Then we'll bring in our tack down stitch. So that's where it tacks down our fabric. We can then trim around the fabric to that stitch line. And then we do the finishing stitch, which is our satin stitch, which covers that raw edge and the stitching underneath. We're also going to add, just to give it a bit more depth, another stitch on top, just to give it a bit of a decorative feel. Okay, so let's go. So we need to bring in our circle shape. So we're going to go into shapes. Remember to go back to that simple shapes and lines video that we have for more explanation about this screen. So we're going to select our circle and OK. Okay, so we have our circle with our red selection box around it. Now that red selection box means that we've got these functions here we can use. We do need to resize it down. So we're going to resize it using our 4 arrows in down to 2.50. So it might just take a little bit of time. And it is pretty touchy. Almost. There we go. And 2.50. And OK. So this circle is going to be our placement stitch. We only want that to be a double line stitch. So we need to go into our line options here. Okay, now there is a video that explains more about it that you can watch, I mentioned earlier, which is the simple lines and shapes. So we're going to here and we're going to select our double straight stitch. I am going to change the colour to green and OK. Now we've got our pencil selected here. Remember, we do need to use our bucket to change the whole line. So we're going to tap on the circle. It has changed to green. And I know that we're ready to go for our placement stitch. So we're going next. Now I'm not changing the stitch length, so we're going to leave that. I'm actually just going to save this because I'm happy with that stitch already. I'm going to preview it and I can see it is our straight stitch, so we're good to go, and we're going to set that. And OK. Whoops, there we go. So it's brought in our first shape. So now we need to go onto our stitch down or tack down stitch. So we need to go add. We go into My Design Centre. Now we're going to recall that green circle from our machine. And I'm going to select that green circle and set. Now I'm going to change the colour because I wanted to do a colour change. I don't want it to continue stitching when I go into embroidery mode. So we're going to select our line options. We're going to change our colour to red. And we're going to, of course, we just want our straight stitch and OK. Now I can see that that's ready to go from our little diagram here, which is our line of red and our double straight stitch. So we use our bucket, we touch on our circle, and then we can preview it on the next screen, make sure that all our settings are the same, which they are. I'm going to leave that. I don't need to save it because I know it's the same as the green circle for when we need to recall the shape. So it's now red. We can set that onto our embroidery screen. So as you can see up here, we have our placement stitch and our tack down stitch ready to go. So now we add our finishing stitch. So we're going to add My Design Center. So we're going to recall it from our pocket and where we saved it on the machine, and we'll select our green circle and set it. So we need to change this to our satin stitch, and we're going to change the color as well. So we go into our line options. Our satin stitch is already selected. We're just going to change the color to orange and OK. And we need to tell the line now that that's what we want. So we use our bucket, touch the line, and zooming in, you can see that it's orange. Zoom back out a bit and go to our next screen. All right, so we're actually going to change our satin stitch width up to the maximum. And we're going to leave our density, which is the other one. We're just going to leave that at 100% and set. Now we will preview this just to make sure we have our right settings there. And that's what we want. We want our thick satin stitch, quite wide there. We'll save it to our pocket on the machine, and let's preview it again. And we can see that we're ready to go and set it as our embroidery design. Okay, so now you can see we have our 3 shapes, all with our different colors, placement, tack down, and this is our finishing stitch. So as an extra little feature to our shape, we're actually going to add a decorative stitch just on top of that satin. So we'll go add, My Design Center. We're going to recall our circle again. And it doesn't matter which circle we choose because we're going to change the parameters anyway. And then we'll set that one. And we're going to go back into our line options. We're going to select our candle wicking stitch. And we're going to change the colour to our blue colour and OK. Now it hasn't changed colour yet because we haven't told it to, so using our bucket, touch on the line, and there is our blue circle. So we're going to go next. It's our candle wick stitch. We're going to leave our settings for this one and we're going to preview it. I just want to see how it looks first. And I'm happy with that decorative stitch looking like that. But I will just go back and save that. So save it to our pocket in the machine. We'll go back to preview. Now we're ready to set that as an embroidery and OK. And as you can see, it has come over the top of our satin stitch. So we can zoom in a little bit just to have a look at that. And we are ready to go because now we have all 4 steps ready to stitch out. So now I've hooped up, I'm ready to go into embroidery mode. And you can see our steps are here, and the only 2 colour threads I need to worry about is our orange and our blue. These first 2 ones, I'm just going to stitch with our orange because it's going to stop for me to allow to do the applique process. So we're going to stitch that first lime green as our placement stitch. So now we've finished doing our placement stitch, we need to place our bit of fabric over our circle. So it's covering our stitch. So now we do need to continue on and do our tack down stitch. Okay, and now we need to take off our hoop so we can trim the fabric back to that stitch line. Okay, so now we've trimmed that back, we can place our hoop back on the machine and we're going to do our finishing stitch. Okay, so now we can change our thread and we're going to do our decorative stitch. And here is our finished design. Looks great with our decorative stitching around our applique. Thank you for joining me and learning how to do a simple applique.